Hey guys, I'm Greg. Welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. Let's go see what's in the fridge today, guys. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. This ought to be a big treat. This is Lost Abbey's, and it says box set on both of this. Box set track number 8. Now we've done the track 10. This is the track 8, and they call it Number of the Beast. That sounds something like the devil or something, don't it? This is a quadruple. This is a 13.7% ABV beer. I'm going to confirm that. Yes, 13.70% alcohol by volume. Bottled and brewed by the Lost Abbey Brewing Company out of San Marcos, California, which is a subsidiary of the Port Brewing Company. And as far as I know, they were dating their stuff, and we will take a closer look when I come back on the final chug and see if it has anything on it. I do not see anything written on the label, but it may be something digitized on the bottle somewhere. Very hard to see now that that's out of the fridge with the condensation on it, but I was thinking they dated it somewhere along the line. So, not super critical. As far as the month and the year, on a quadruple at 13.7%, almost 14%. But would, as I say all the time, on this style of beer, we would like to see a year so we know the vintage of the beer. This was sent to me by Ewan and Vasi, or Vasi, however that's pronounced. Both of those brothers have very unique names. And the last beer mail I got from Ewan and his brother had some very awesome and expensive beers in that box. So, Ewan, thank you, sir. You sent some very intriguing and very pricey beers, as far as I can tell, and I'm sure they will be very delicious. I can't get just about any of those. Now, some of the Firestone Walker's beers I can get my hands on, but the particular versions he sent me, I cannot get my hands on. So, Firestone Walker sends some of their average beers out here, and some of their limited release beers, the Velvet Merlin and Merkin, and a few of their others are not distributed to Virginia. Not in this part anyway, not that I've seen, and if they are, they're snatched up before I get my little hairy eyeballs on them anyway. So, Ewan, thank you and your brother for sending the last beer mail package. I hope you've received your little gift back in the mail that I sent you. So I was really impressed with the quality and the amount of beers you sent in that last beer mail package. So thank you, sir. I do appreciate it. Let's get on with this one, guys. Can't wait to get into this quadruple. Lost Abbey. I've had some Port Brewing beers, and I still have one of their beers in the fridge in there that someone sent me, because I can't get them here. And I had this one that he sent me, and I'm going, oh, that looks pretty damn tasty. I was so blown away by the track 10 that I said, we need to do that track 8. Of course, this beer can be cellared for a long, long time, being almost 14%. But like I tell you guys, y'all spend your hard-earned money to buy these beers and then box them up and ship them to me. I feel kind of obligated to review them in a timely manner. Because I know you want to see the reviews on these beers. Some of you guys will send me 2 of them so I can cellar one of them, but I'm not begging or asking that to happen. I'm just appreciative for what I do get. So, Ewan, Vasi, thank you guys. I do appreciate it, sirs. Alright, let's get on with this one. Commercial description on this. It says, at a glance, the beer, a fresh track. Track 8 is a spicy monster, a base of Judgment Day aged in freshly emptied bourbon barrels, then spiked with a liberal addition of cinnamon stick and dried chili peppers. Ooh. ABV 13.7%, released August 8th of 2012. So in the commercial description, it gives us information that I cannot see on the bottle yet. So this is a August 18th, 2012 edition of this beer, more than likely. It says, liner notes, we never released a bourbon barrel version of our Judgment Day, so we thought it may be interesting to take the base beer for Cuvée de Tome, T-O-M-M-E, aged in first. Fill bourbon barrels and let Mother Nature take over. Of course, because this is a rock and roll inspired box set beer, we couldn't just leave well enough alone. Upon sampling the base beer, it became apparent that the raisins used to brew the base beer were going to drive the flavor bus of this beer. The conversations turned to oatmeal raisin cookies and the essence of a freshly baked treat. So we added some cinnamon sticks to the barrels and threw in some dried chilies as well. At 13.7% ABV beer, this beer has amazing depth and flavor and presents a unique drinking experience for consumers who may be seeking enlightenment on Judgment Day. Chilies, cinnamon. I mean, I just did the homebrew competition winner from Justin and Carrie, their oatmeal raisin cookie stout, or oatmeal cookie raisin stout beer that we did the growler on several days ago, and it was frickin' awesome. So I can just imagine what this is. Hopefully this will be in the same line. They're talking about oatmeal cookie raisins, and this is a quadruple. It's not a stout, but there's a little bit of chilies in there for a little bit of the heat, so sounds good to me. Alright guys, we've done that. Let's go to the food pairings. Food pairings for this beer. Says here, cuisine is, the cheeses, or don't have any cuisine, has cheeses of a buttery Brie Gouda Havarti Swiss, sharp blue cheddar, and it has general digestive. So a lot of these bigger beers will say that. I mean, once you get above the 10%ers, you can use this as a digestive. Have it before dinner, or with a stronger course meal, or after dinner as a digestive, something to sip on after dinner to help you digest your dinner with, as it will be. Meat for this is beef, smoked meat, and game. The glassware is snifter, tulip, goblet, or chalice. I've got the double glass for this one, guys. And it said here, can be sold for long periods under the proper conditions. Almost 14%. This beer is going to keep 5, 10, 15, even 20 years if you sell it correctly. So that's all we need to talk about. So let's get into it. What do you think? Let's get it on. Alright, cage and cork bottle. Let's get the wire and the cage off of this bad boy. There's the cage. And like I said earlier, somebody told me to hold the cork and twist the bottle. I didn't have any success doing that on the last one with my left hand. Of course, I'm right-handed, so my right hand's got a little more grip than my left hand. Let's see if this works with the right hand. Yeah, that's the ticket. Here we go. Want to hear it pop? Hee hee hee! Massive pop. You see the smoke coming out? Oh, that's impressive. 14% down the center. What do you think? That's what she said. Wow, look at the head this thing is generating on a 14% beer. It's almost like a cola though. I mean, it's popping up, but I got a feeling it's not going to last. Look at it disappear. Look at that. It sounds like a cola. That sounds exactly like pouring a soda. Look, it's gone. That quick. Look, it's gone. Wow, that is really, really strange. I've never had one pour that kind of a head and disappear that quick. That's the first, and it's gone. And it is gone. And you're saying it was a finger and a half of head, and 15 seconds later, it was gone. Wow. Poured like a soda. I could hear it. Like pouring Coke or Dr. Pepper in a glass. Gone. Wow. It's black. Over into the light, it is pitch black, guys. I'm not giving any light whatsoever through that beer. I can't wait to get a nose and a taste of this one. Let's do it. It almost smells like a soda or a wine. It's got a very sweet smell. Wow. It's like you poured a half a glass of a dark wine and a half a glass of a cola together. Very unique and interesting smell on this. I'm not getting a lot of cinnamon on the nose. I'm not getting a lot of heat from the chilies that they've used on the nose. And of course, if I'd have done this at room temperature, that may be different, but it's right out of the fridge, 40 degrees. I swear it's like they used it in a wine barrel instead of a bourbon barrel. This has a slight hint of the bourbon, but it is not overpowering or overwhelming whatsoever. I don't know how long they left it in the bourbon barrel. Very unique smell. So let's give it a taste, see what we can get on it. Cheers. Cheers, E1. Cheers, Vassy. I'm intrigued. Now, on the taste, the bourbon is there. The bourbon is definitely there to taste. That is so unique. I don't think I've ever tasted a quad that has this flavor. It has a wine-esque fruitiness to it. There's some dark fruit in there. The raisins are there. And I'm getting a hint of some oatmeal cookie in the taste there. And I'm hoping that's going to come out more intense as it warms at the room temperature, which I intend to do. Bourbon, oatmeal, raisins, some sweetness and fruitiness like a wine would present. A lot of stuff going on with this beer. I'm not going to drink anymore, and I'm going to let it warm up a little bit to room temperature and see where this ends up. Very unique beer. I don't think I've had any beer that has these qualities to it before, especially the way it generated that massive head with that aggressive pour, and then 10 seconds later it's all gone. I don't think I've seen a head dissipate that fast, and it sounded like a cola in the glass with the effervescence of it. Very unique. So let's let it warm up and let her taste it and come back and we'll do the final chug here. And I'm going to sip on this probably about 35, 45 minutes, something like that. So I can let it warm up to room temperature and see what we end up with, guys. Very strange. Very nice. I think I like it. Come on back. We'll do the final chug. Alright guys, I'm back. Got a little left here. This is such a unique beer. It's got the bourbon qualities from being in the bourbon barrels. But as you've seen from the pour, it was so effervescent with an aggressive pour, which subsided like a cola, like Coke or Dr. Pepper or Pepsi or any cola that you pour. It goes, and it's gone. And that's the way this beer did. Never seen a beer do that before. Brown sugar, dark fruits, hint of coconut. Very, very unique beer. For a quad, this was very different than what my typical quad would be. Usually they're very, very close to a barley wine with a little bit bigger alcohol, and whatever they do to it, whether they're bourbon barreling, aging it, or whatever. Usually it's a lot different than what I'm getting from this beer. So they've they've stepped out of the box on this beer as far as I'm concerned with the qualities it's got going on. So very impressed. Kind of blown away by this, but it's almost got a wine-esque quality. I'm getting a little bit of fruitiness on this, and almost like it's been in a wine barrel. So don't know where that's coming from because it's not been in a wine barrel, but I am getting that from this. The dark fruit are there, the raisins, a little bit of the oatmeal, not quite like it was on the stout I did the other day from Justin and Carrie, but it definitely bourbon barrel. I'm a sucker for the bourbon barrel-esque. I mean, you can put any beer in a bourbon barrel, and I'm gonna like it usually because I don't drink bourbon anymore, and the only way I get bourbon is from a bourbon barrel-aged beer. So, still like that bourbon quality in these type of beers. So, and they're doing IPAs in bourbon barrels and stouts in bourbon barrels, and now they're quads in bourbon barrels. So, I love them. I really do. So the only fuss, and of course Ewan put the tag on the bottle because the date is smudged off. Guys, if you're gonna spend this kind of money in bourbon barrel aging a beer and all that, and then you're gonna stamp a date on there, it can be rubbed off. What the hell is wrong with you? He says this is a 2014 vintage, and it's smudged off. So it shouldn't be that easy to get the date off the beer or the year off the beer. You need to put it on the label, guys. Especially on this type of beer, bourbon barrel aged. It's not a cheap beer, I'm sure. I didn't buy it. It was sent to me by Ewan and his brother. But if you're going to produce a $15 to $20 bottle of beer, and then you're going to put a 2-cent stamp on it, that sucks. That sucks. If you're going to produce this type of beer and it's going to be a little on the pricier side like that, you need to put the date or the vintage of the year on the label. That's all I got to say about that. I mean, if you want me to pay $15 to $20 for a small bottle of beer like this, and I know it's worth it, and it costs that to bourbon barrel age it and all that kind of stuff, you need to step up to the plate and date the label and not put some kind of cheesy ass fucking stamp on it that's going to be smudged off if somebody touches it. So that's where I'm going with this, guys. So if you're paying $15 to $20 a bottle, or $12 to $20 a bottle for something that's been barrel aged like this, they need to put the vintage on the label, and not something can be smudged off if somebody touches it. So let's do the final chug. It's an awesome beer, guys, but you know where I'm going with this, so that's enough said on this. I don't want to rant and rave over this over and over and over again. Put the vintage on it, on the label, or get an ink that can be smudged off. Final chug. Wow, that is so different. That is so different than any quad I've ever had before. With the bourbon and the wine-esque qualities and the fruitiness of that, along with the raisins and the oatmeal and the dark fruit and the brown sugar or candied sugar in this beer. A lot of stuff going on. Prime candidate to cellar, but I wouldn't want to cellar not knowing the vintage of the beer. And of course, Ewan put the 2014 on there, and it was smudged off according to what he's got on the tag that he put on the beer. So it shouldn't be that easy to get that off of there. So I've said it 3 or 4 times now. Come on, guys. If you're going to produce a pricey beer like this, you need to at least put it on the back of the label. If you're going to use the same label like this year after year, at least print something different on the back of the label. Chinook hops, Citra hops, or 2014, 2013, and all that kind of stuff. So a little more information on the back label. Leave the front label like it is. and use it year after year after year if you're going to do it multiple times. But the back label, we kind of want that. I do anyway. So, and I think everybody else does too. So it's not going to hurt the beer to cellar this beer, but we want the vintage, guys. Come on, come on, come on. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Put the vintage on the label here, guys, and not some kind of cheesy ass 2-cent ink stamp that can be smudged off if somebody touches the beer. So, all right, we're going to go over to Beer Advocate. Beer Advocate says 97, world class. It is. It is pretty freaking awesome, guys. So that's why I'm harping on this, because I know it's not a cheap beer, and I know Ewan and his brother paid a pretty penny for this beer, for him to have to write the date on a tag and put it on the beer to send to me, because he knows I'm kind of a little stickler on that kind of stuff, as well as most of you do too. I think I'm probably one of the few beer reviewers that harp on this as much as I do, but we need to have that kind of information. The big three don't have a problem with that, and I know it's a pricey piece of equipment to do that, so don't buy that equipment. Print the labels with the vintage on the label on the back side of the label. If you're going to use the front side year after year after year, just take the extra step and print the vintage on the back label. And that way, and don't order 10 million of the back labels, just produce or have printed up enough that you're going to use for that production year of the beers. It doesn't seem like rocket science to me, guys. It really, really doesn't. So, that's why I harp on it so much. Oh well, it is what it is, isn't it? Sometimes you can't sometimes life's not a Cheribolis. So, alright, we got 97 from Beer Advocate, and we got 99 from Rate Beer overall, and 97 in the style. If I was putting a rate on this, I would say 97 or 98 myself. If it had a vintage on it, I might even step up to the plate and say it's a 10 beer, a 100 in the style. But not knowing that, I don't know the vintage. And a lot of people criticize me for cutting the grade on the beer. If it's an awesome beer, say it's an awesome beer and give it the grade. But not knowing the vintage of the beer, I kind of want to know that. I kind of want to know that. Would you buy a gallon of milk that didn't have the date on it? Would you buy a loaf of bread that didn't have the date on it? I mean, these guys aren't in the mega $1,000,000 industries, but yet they can put that date on there and something that doesn't smudge off. So, guys, that's enough on the dating. Awesome beer, very deserving to pick up if you can get your hands on this. The Lost Abbey, track number 8, Quadruple. But I think they need to step up to the plate just a little bit further, and rather than putting a smeared off ink on the bottle, print something on the back label that can't be smeared or smudged off. So, I'm going to leave it at that, guys. It's an awesome beer. Very unique beer. Very different beer from most of the other quads, or just about all of the other quads that I've ever had before. So, very tasty. So, Ewan and Vasi, thank you very much for sending me this beer. I loved it. Now, if we can just get the brewers to step up just one more notch. They've got the beer down pat, and they've got a nice label on it. Print it on the back label, guys. Don't understand. I don't understand. 2015, been doing craft beers. Craft beer industry's been alive since probably the late 80s. And now we're in 2015 and still can't get a legible date on the beer. A lot of the other breweries are printing, I mean, even Sierra Nevada is stepped up to the plate, and they're still doing the digitized thing on the bottle, but they've got the writing on the back of the beer label, so we know exactly something that can't be smudged or smeared off, or something you can't read when the beer is in there. You can flip the bottle around on the back label and you can see it. So, still harping on this, still crazy after all these years, as Paul Simon says, and I'm going to keep being crazy till we see everybody do the right thing. So, with that being said, if you've had track 8 from Lost Abbey, let me know what you think, guys, and let's go see if we got a beer in the fridge tomorrow that ain't got the damn date smeared off. See you then.